What is going on, traders? Welcome back to another live stream. If you are new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. We are getting ready to trade London Open. Before we do, make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading is risky. Most traders lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing you see or hear from me here or anywhere else is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like code RDF, Bookmap, and others. Let's hop on to the charts this morning. Good morning, good morning. What's going on, team? What's up, Paul? What's up, IT? What's happening, guys? Getting ready to have some fun here. So I have Project X with Top 1 Futures loaded up. I'm not copy trading this morning. I have a 3-pack of fresh 150K standard instant funded accounts from Top 1 Futures that I am going to dedicate to trading NQ for London Open here in the overnight session. Did a little bit of just browsing on ES and NQ over the last really just few days. And ES is really, really slow moving. And while I really like to hyper focus on ES, I think I'm going to hyper focus on NQ here for London Open. I want to get some scalping in, want to get some action going with you guys, and ES is just very, very, very slow moving. So if I'm going to zoom in, get some scalping done, which is my game plan with these accounts, a little bit definitely different of an approach than I'm usually using for NYSE Open. I'm going to do it on NQ. That's my game plan. So appreciate you guys hopping on this morning. Let me make sure stream is looking good. I'm a little bit late to the punch here. Wanted to hop on at 2:45, but here I am, getting a little bit of a late start. 3:05 a.m. Yeah. All right, YouTube looks good. What's up, team? What's going on? What's going on? YouTube looks good. Twitter looks good. Kick looks good. What is up, guys? Welcome to the show. Yeah, it's 3:05 a.m. Eastern for me, so we're up here nice and early. I'm going to go ahead and throw the link in chat for Top 1 Futures, which is still running their deal. Code RDF gets you 55% off. Better than the email, better than the website, better than anything else you'll find, I think. Make sure that's pinned. Boom, we are good to go. Dang, still doesn't post to X. Let's see if I can get this going. What up, X? We don't want to leave you guys hanging. Just because you're on Twitter doesn't mean we're not going to hook you up. Cool. Cool. We're ready to roll. Let's give a like for the early start. Paul, what's up, man? Yeah, we're gonna run a couple of these, man. These are gonna be fun. So again, I'm looking at NQ here this morning just because ES is so dang slow moving. I will say I find them to be like really, really extremely correlated for London, just based on what I've been watching. If you just look at recent price action, let's say, for the last couple hours, looking at the chart here on the 1 minute, and I click right over to the to NQ from ES, really, really, really close. So that structure is going to be very similar. Price action is going to be a little bit different for sure. But again, we're going to get a little bit more movement. So just zooming out on NQ, let's get a little bit of chart markup done here. And we'll zoom in, see if we can't take some scalpy style trades. Again, this is going to be a little bit of a different approach than what I do for ES, for NYSE Open for sure. And again, I'm coming in with a nice scientist mindset. In the name of science, we're going to see how I do. I think if you haven't been doing something for a really extended period of time trading, you should have pretty modest expectations, right? So that's what I have for my scalping here for London Open, right? As I get more comfortable, as days and weeks go on and months go on, maybe you gain a little bit more of an expectation of results, right? But this is going to be some forward testing here live with you guys. And again, got some inexpensive prop accounts, instant funded stuff. Got a smaller account size to be working with. Not copy trading them. So that's all of my like risk off behavior, right? The risk on behavior is going to be scalping really aggressively, really, really aggressively. And I mean that by like zooming in pretty heavily, putting on decent size relative to trading a 50K account here on NQ and seeing if we can't get some motion moving around. So yeah, taking a look at this overnight session here. Let's start out the daily again. That was just prior day high, prior day low, overnight high, overnight low. Really similar structure to ES, right? Just blasting through all-time highs, pushing to the upside. We're kind of chopping a little bit day over day. Oh, kind of chopping a little bit up here day over day. We sold off on Friday, pushed up. Oh, excuse me. Sold off on Monday, pushed up yesterday, Tuesday, and here we are opening up Wednesday, the 9th, July 9th. Kind of inside bar, a little bit indecision, right? It is Asia, it is London, so we're not looking for anything too crazy. But we're not blasting to the upside, blasting the downside. We're not above, prior bar high or low right now. We're pretty much to the high end of the candle body, but really pretty close just to the middle ground of that prior day high and low. You can see it right here, prior day low, prior day high, right around VWAP. So not a whole lot of movement just yet. And again, this approach is going to be really price action focused, really discretionary price action focused. I do have Bookmap loaded up on the right-hand side. So I'm going to be watching that for NQ and ES this morning. But I do have that loaded up over here on my right-hand side. A little bit more zoomed in, taking a look at NQ on this one. And just so you know what you'll see out of me this morning, I have these 3 accounts. I'm going to allow myself about around that $500 risk per account. Per trade, I'm going to run it how I see it. I'm going to base stops on how I see price action and structure forming. Again, pretty aggressive, so probably utilizing that full risk per trade. And again, just scalping, looking for some quick movement, seeing if we can't pick up a couple $100 on the way to working towards a payout. But appreciate you guys hopping on. If you guys got trading questions, as always, feel free to ask in the chat. I hope you guys can hear me all right. I'm trying not to scream to wake up the rest of my family. Paul, what's up, man? What's going on? So let's see. Starting to sell off through VWAP here. Coming into a little bit of liquidity to the downside. I'm going to get ready for trade number 1. I'm looking at this as a potential buy. I'd like a dip a little bit further through these 78s to the downside. And I might look for a quick buy on this one. Again, going to start with like 1 contract, just kind of see what that looks like on this structure. 100 points, 100 ticks is not much room here. Yeah, here we go.
Order filled.
Ooh, I have that risk setting reversed. Yeah, so we're gonna get some test trades here in on NQ while we're hanging out. But first, that's supposed to be the bracket. That's supposed to be my bracket right there. So looking for a little bit of a bounce off of VWAP here. Just kind of feeling out what this risk structure is going to look like trading 1 NQ here on the 1-minute chart on this type of structure, and working out kinks like that where I had my initial risk reversed. Now, I'm not always going to run a fixed take profit and stop loss, but that's kind of what I'd like to enter the market with here on these 50K accounts. Kind of like on the 150Ks, I usually throw like $1,000, $2,000 stop loss and take profit. Wolf, what's going on, man? Wolf says, when's the giveaway? Wolf, don't even start with me, brother. Uh, so funny. Okay, I don't think you'd be for a troll first thing dead at night, but I couldn't help myself. Yeah, yeah, couldn't help himself. Yeah, so this is gonna be pretty aggressive, even with one NQ. I can definitely get more aggressive on this. Based on me not copy trading accounts, right? And I'm gonna cycle through a couple different accounts, at least swap between different accounts, not cycle through. But yeah, this will be interesting here for sure. So I'm gonna let this start to play out. I'm looking long, maybe back towards these 90s. We got some liquidity up there. Got some right below at the 87s. Excuse me, at the 875s, 22 875s. We were trending to the downside, but I'm looking for a little bit of a bounce and maybe a pop up here for a continuation of this kind of movement. Buy in on a pullback down to this area of high volume before a little bit of a continuation up. I'm going to zoom in even more, but this is the first one I wanted to throw on, just see if we can't get a little bit of motion out of it. What's up, Joel? Joel says, yo, love the London streams. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, nobody's really streaming this time, so I ran one. I'm waking up here, guys. I ran one last week on Thursday before 4th of July. I missed my didn't miss my flight. My flight was canceled on my way home to my hometown, and I ran ran a London stream, and you guys hopped on. We got more people hopping on right now. Had a whole bunch of people hop on. It was cool to connect with a bunch of people from the other side of the world. So I appreciate you guys hopping on. I love doing this stuff. Andrew, what's up? What's going on? Welcome to the show. And while we're on that note, I'm going to throw the Discord link in. I had a bunch of people hop on from the last one, so 100% free trading Discord. I'm going to throw that in the chat right now. No VIP feeder program. I don't charge for a course or a class, or I'm not taking anybody on to work with or anything like that. Just a 100% free trading Discord, and then free live trading here on YouTube, Kick, and X. And a little bit about me, since we are on the other side of the time that we're usually trading. If you guys don't know me, my name's Zach. I've been trading live here for quite a while. Not on some of these platforms, but on YouTube for quite a while now. In the markets for about 6 years, but I don't consider myself any more than a regular idiot. I'm definitely not the best trader in the world. I don't have it all figured out. I don't not make mistakes. I don't have some magic strategy or approach that's going to just generate amazing profits, and all you have to do is give me $100 and I'll tell you what that is. None of that stuff. No crazy leaderboards and live accounts and wild P&Ls. Just live trading here directly from the accounts that I'm trading, showing you wins, losses, talking about the way that I view trading, the way that I view the markets, things that have helped me, and doing it all free. Building a great community with you guys. I, of course, yap about companies that I'm partnered and affiliated with, like Top One Futures, like Bookmap. Support me, support yourself, support the channel. Don't do anything. Hang out here for free. Fade me because you think that I'm an idiot, and we'll have fun. So that's just a little bit about kind of where my head's at. Watching this thing start to push just a little bit again. These are aggressive, even with one NQ. We're gonna get some we're gonna get some motion out of this today. This is gonna be fun. I'm looking for a little bit more of a pop up. I could see it just back to the 92s maybe. I might choke up on this a little bit. And again, I'm going to be discretionary. This is not going to be the same as what you've seen from me for NYSE, right? We're here on NQ, going to look for some scalpy style trades. Back to areas of volume, really. I might zoom in and get some really, really scalpy price action style trades right out of consolidation. That'll be fun to do. But for now, I'm going to see if we can't get a pop back up to the 90s on this. While we're hanging out, making sure stream's up and running on this first trade. Again, got 3 accounts to play around with. Not copy trading, you know. So I'm cool. I'm cool realizing some losses on these, especially to get started in the morning if we have to. But appreciate you guys hopping on as always. Just checking a couple things here. There we go. Let's see if we can get some push to the upside here. I don't need anything crazy, but we're kind of just chopping around entry. Kind of just chopping around entry here. All right, let's see if we can't get a push up on this bad boy. See if we can't get a push up on this bad boy here. Again, taking a look at NQ Bookmap, which is vastly different than ES. I'll show you guys this in just a minute once I take myself out of this one. Mate, you're not from US. I sleep anytime. Andrew says he's sleeping anytime. He's from India. Wolf's from India. It's afternoon, about 12:45. Yeah, so much more appropriate for you to come and hang out with us here, Wolf. Zach took my vice trade in NQ. Awesome. There we go. A little bit of a push here. I'm gonna join ask right there, guys, and I'm gonna go stop loss to break even. Ooh, didn't get the fill that I wanted. I'm gonna go stop loss. Yeah, break even plus a tick here. Just wanted to get a quick pop up. Let's see if we can't 890. Yeah, I'm gonna look for.
Order filled.
There we go. I'm gonna just take profit on that one real quick, guys. Again, I know I started with a $500 stop loss, $600 take profit. That's just gonna be my initial bracket. I'm gonna zoom in, really scalp as I see fit on these bad boys, running a really wide emergency stop, and then taking profit, dragging stop loss into past break even, kind of as I see fit. Again, pretty discretionary. For these accounts, these new 50K instant funded, they always change the names on these things. But with the 50K accounts, your profit target's $3,000, and you have a 20% consistency rule. I want to actually double check this while I'm on here with you guys. I believe you have a 20% consistency rule. You got to hit $3,000. So if you wanted to take out $2,500 as soon as you hit $3,000, the max you could put up is $600 per day, right? 600 times 5 is 3,000. If you put up $1,000 in any one day, you got to be putting up $5,000 before you can take a withdrawal. That's the 20% consistency rule. So I'm probably going to take these somewhat slow. Again, I'm not going to copy trade these bad boys just because I want to give myself enough risk. If I take $500 of loss, I'm going to swap to another account, take another $500 of loss, swap to another account, rather than take it all on one shot, right? I want to give myself some trades here with you guys. There was the pop up through the 90s that I was waiting for, but I want to pull up Bookmap and show you guys that right here, because it looks vastly different on ES. And while I have both of these loaded up, I think it could be fun to look at. So here is bookmap for NQ. Nice. Oh yeah, for sure, brother. Got a quick win for the first one. Put $100 in one of these accounts. 3 a.m. over here. Awesome. Zach took my advice on the NQ thing. Yeah, we were looking at ES and NQ, Wolf, the last few days for London session, and I traded ES obviously on that first session, and it's so slow. It's so slow moving, and it kind of just jumps around. The price action is really not smooth. It's like very choppy. And what I've seen, I love ES. I love the price action to market structure. It's highly correlated. It even feels much more correlated than during NYSE session between ES and NQ. So for all of those reasons, I'm on NQ. That's the game plan. So just to kind of show you what I'm talking about here, here's ES book map, right? Like here's really zoomed out on ES. You could just see the way that the heat map lights up, what the book looks like, the numbers of orders on the book. And then you can take a look at NQ, and it's quite different. It's quite different. It's definitely a different feel, the way that it moves around here on bookmap. So it's interesting. But again, if you guys don't know, this is bookmaps, an order flow tool. Very, very simply, we're looking at prices, quantity of orders on the book relative to those prices. So nothing crazy. Simple DOM, cumulative volume delta down here, which we're gonna see how helpful this stuff is during London. During a much slower moving market. But for now, we got a W. And again, we're gonna take quite a bit of scalpy trades on here. That's gonna be the game plan. We're gonna warm up. Again, low expectations, nothing crazy. Not looking to have some amazingly high win rate and risk to reward. Just get comfortable here scalping on NQ. Again, very discretionary, price action and market structure based, using volume tools, and using a little bit of order flow. So looking at this just trend wise, if I was going to note this overall, we've been kind of drifting to the downside, right? Since we opened up here, we've stayed below VWAP. We chopped above it now a couple times. This is definitely a shorter time frame trend to the upside, and now we're kind of forming that again. I'm going to wait to see if we come down, sweep below this low, the 72s, what happens when we do, and either look for a continuation of the downside or potentially just one more test down here of the 70s and then a pop back up. We are opening up here, 326, so we could see some volume, a little bit more volume start to come in. Here's our 3 a.m. candle right there. A little bit of volume came in on that bad boy. We started to sell off so far, back above VWAP, and then tested those 90s and then right back down. So, yeah, that initial target wouldn't have played too badly. But let's see what we can do here. Let's see what we got here. Let me get some background music rolling. If you guys got questions, feel free, ask in the chat. However, have ever used Heikin-Ashi candles? I've looked at Heikin-Ashi candles. I don't use them personally. I think it can be great if you want to use them, but I do not. Just standard Japanese candlesticks. We're gonna get some lo-fi synth wave going here. All right. Yeah, again, guys, I'm looking at I want to see what happens here. If we start to pop to the upside, I might try this long again. Conversely, we sweep down below this low, which I think we might do. I might take an aggressive trade for that right now. Sweep down below this low, down to the 870s. I'm interested to see what happens there. Big round psychological number up here, the 22 900s. You can see the time, we tapped that multiple times right here. So I think that's in play. But so far, this looks like we might want to pop lower. So
Order
go ahead
filled.
and short this, guys. That was a pretty ugly fill, huh? Wow, that was a really ugly fill. You guys see that? That was nasty. Price was trading like like almost like 2 points higher on that one. Wow. Anyway, I'm gonna look for a short on this one. I'm gonna look for a short down towards this 70 level, and I'm gonna tighten up on stop. I think if we have to pull back above this high, I'm okay retesting the 90s. Again, I'm gonna run this kind of just wide as an emergency stop, and really an emergency take profit, and then manage it in between here. But I'm looking for a sweep down below this level, right down into the low 70s. We start to pop to the upside here, just continuing this trend. Obviously, I'm wrong. I'd let it come back up here. If we just blast to the stop loss, obviously, I have to accept the risk that's on here. I'd let it come back up here because I think we could pull one of these if we have to. First, I'm looking for this to happen, right? Or else I don't want to be short right now. But I think we could also pull one of these and just kind of chop around VWAP a little bit. So I'm going to give this thing room to breathe. Don't have a lot of room up through the 2900s. If we came all the way back up there, that would be a little bit dicey to hold on to. Yeah, I might end up closing on the way up if we really did start to do that. But for now, that's going to be our play. That's what I'm looking at. Short back down around, around the 70s. Let's see what we can do. Again, higher frequency of trades, right, than what you see me take for NYSE. A little bit of scalping style, price action, market structure based, quite discretionary, which is important to note. But got a few orders down to the 870s, 865, so that supports my thesis for a little bit of a wick down lower here. I think even if we're going to continue higher, NQ loves to pull these wicky kind of back and forth movements. Probably not as much during this London session, but it still can be interesting to look at. Lionheart says head and shoulders forming, DGTL. Nice. Where you see a head and shoulders, my friend. You looking at that as a maybe head and shoulders forming? Maybe. Wolf says that's for. I'm gonna put that up on the screen. It says head and shoulders forming, talking about a chart pattern, obviously. And Wolf goes, "That's for dandruff, dude, isn't it?" You guys are funny. Off that low, sure. Yeah, I can see that. Throw this banner back up. Yeah, I'm gonna see if we can't get a little motion down here. I'd be looking for something like that. As we came down lower, 250, just kind of measuring out with this bad boy. If we came up here, what am I looking at for stop loss? Yeah, 200 above this high. If we had to trade out the 90s, that would really, tell me this trade is just not playing nice with me. But again, I would allow it to come back up here real quick. If we just got one crazy wick up there, I wouldn't be so upset about that. All right, this is a little bit of aggressive music. We need that chill lo-fi. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, while we're hanging out, I'm just gonna review this account that I'm in, which I think is important to do. So if you check this out, this is kind of how I do this. Let me make sure I'm on the right screen. This is Top One Futures again. If you guys want to check it out, code RDF is in the chat. So this is the account that I'm on right here. This is the, let me actually just pull this up so I don't miss anything on the right hand side. This is the 50K instant funded with the end of day trailing drawdown, $2,000 max loss limit, ability to trade up to 5 minis, 20% consistency rule. Copy trade in 3 accounts, 10 days to pay out, all that fun stuff. But to really get the detailed info, you got to come over here, frequently asked questions, which I think we could still see, and look at payouts, right? So what are the requirements to request a payout? Is this still showing? Sometimes when I click around, yeah. And looking at top one, here's what we're looking at. 5% of the starting balance. Right, the newest stuff. 6% of the starting balance, which would be 3%. Excuse me, $3,000 for the 50K account, right? 10 minimum trading days. 10 active trading days. Let's click on that. Maximum payout till live. Just take a quick look. Yeah, I can take out on the 50K account max 2,500 per withdrawal. So first goal here in these 50Ks, just to make sure I'm not completely an idiot, 50K plus 6% is going to be that $3,000 mark. And then past that, you got to make 5%. You got to do 2,500 and then 2,000. You got 2,000 to work with, so that's the play. That's the play here. So yeah, I'm being pretty aggressive with this because I really just, I start to take a bunch of stop outs. I'm not going to hold on to accounts for too long. So $500 risk per day per account would give me, in a worst case scenario, 4 days, right? 4 just straight up back-to-back losing days. I'm comfortable with that. Comfortable enough with that. But yeah, just kind of wanted to review that real quick. I wanted to check one more thing. I'll share with you guys. Payouts. No. Yeah, just reviewing the 50K again because this is my first round paying looking at the 50K account. Yeah, this is kind of just what I wanted to look at. Let's take a look. Yeah, you got to open and close the trade for 10 days. And then drawdown's going to lock at your initial balance plus 100, right? That's what we're looking at here. Yeah, when you crest a payout, maximum trailing drawdown locks at initial balance plus 100. The moment you take a payout, no longer trails with you. Cool. Nice, nice, nice. All right, let's get back over to the trade. Still in this one short. Not really selling off here the way that I wanted to. Hang on to this for now. Again, I said I wanted to allow a test of this level one more time, but we start to push to the upside. This is going to look a little dicey. I'm looking for one more dip down below this area. See if we can't get that. Let's see. Oh, I can't find that frequently asked questions answer. It's all on the main site, from the main site. Hold on, I'll show you where that is. Right up here, man. Frequently asked questions page. I don't know why all prop firms do that, to be honest, but it's like the same at every prop firm. They all kind of do that. They have their like basic stuff on the main page, like your max loss limit and whatever, and the size of the accounts and the price, and then they have a frequently asked questions page where they have like all of the detailed information that you really need to know. So that's what that is. That's what that is. But yeah, similar at like Top Step, Tradeify. I've seen the same kind of setup as far as it all being under. So use NinjaTrader. Can't trade with top one futures though. There, we'll wait to see if they get Trade of 8. Yeah, Trade of 8. Trade of 8 should be coming. Trade of 8 should be coming. I don't know exactly when. I can't say exactly when, but Trade of 8 should be coming to top one futures pretty soon. Since they were acquired by Kraken, I think the excuse we all got was that they were not onboarding new firms. They weren't bringing anybody else on. But that's the behind the scenes comment, is that I think it's coming pretty quick. Zach, be careful. Plus minus 5 minutes to 4 a.m. Eastern, you can get weird wicks and volatility. Gotcha. Where are we at? 3:41 a.m. So yeah, coming into the round hours, Wolf is saying 4 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. These times I'll give horrible volatility frequently. Okay. Yeah, so I might want to be cautious coming into those hours. Can you tell me the keywords? Yeah, I want to watch this for a second, brother, but I'm going to help you out. So again, we're looking at top one futures, frequently asked questions. And then if you come down here just to the main stuff, if this is what you're looking at, you come down here to payouts. They got a bunch of different information on payouts here. Maximum payout until live explained, I think, was the one that I was just on. And then payout time frame I was looking at, payout requirements. But just, I would cycle through all of these, right? If you're trading with any prop firm, here's my humble opinion. If you're trading with any prop firm, you really got to understand the rules. To stand a chance at making money, you really, really got to understand the rules, right? So do your due diligence, take your time, go through all of that, fully understand the goals, any little nuanced thing, like on top one futures, for example, there's a 10-second hold time rule, right? You would know that only by going through the frequently asked questions page, which you should do. It's our requirement as traders, right? Can you copy trade all of the different account types? No, you're not allowed to. So there's things that you have to go through and read. And I think it doesn't take that long. It can be a little bit annoying, but any firm that you're going to consider trading with before you even spend money, before you start trading with them, go through their FAQ page and read every single page. I think that's important. Again, we deal with a whole bunch of these rules that can be interesting, difficult to work with. You might say, hey, dude, that doesn't work for me at all, or hey, that's fine. But you got to know that. You got to know that on the front end. So, 5 a.m. too. Yep. Good morning. Trading NQ today, man. So, crack this without making too much noise. Trade NQ because ES is so dang slow on the the London session here that I've swapped over to NQ. Was talking about that a little earlier. Watched it a little bit, went back through and just looked at some overnight sessions, as of recent, as I was getting ready to start doing this. And ES is really, really super slow moving. NQ is also very slow moving. They're very highly correlated around this time, so I get similar structure price action. Like we could take a look at ES right now. But just the NQ just seems to print a little bit cleaner. Candles as far as not being so jumpy. Not just kind of looking like it's stuck on the chart the way ES is here for, 30 seconds at a time at one single price level. ES looking a little bit stronger here as we start to push to the upside. But yeah, for those reasons on NQ, I think I'm going to stick on NQ for scalping in the London session, at least for a while until I decide I don't like it. But yeah, for those reasons, just a little bit more volume and volatility. No, maybe not volume, but a little bit more volatility, a little bit more movement, a little bit more action here for London. And again, I'm trading a different approach, different style here, right? This is just going to be much more aggressive, scalpy, discretionary price action, market structure style of trading, higher frequency, right? Taking a lot of trades, higher leverage, right? Because we're on a 50K account here trading NQ minis, although it is, slow moving for London. But yeah, for those reasons. A few times I got clobbered at those times. Candles at 604, 702, 360, like that. Gotcha. Yeah, I hear you. Get some volatility that comes in. Yeah, this one didn't play nice with me. I was looking for a push down below this level back into the 70s. Gonna hang on to this one for now. Took the first W. Wanted to see this thing run back down to the 70s. I think we're kind of just chopping around VWAP. And some follow-up trades might be more zoomed in, a little bit even heavier. But just starting out with one mini right now. Leaving a little bit wide stop, wider target, right? I wanted to allow a test to this level, so I don't really want to close, but we might rock it here. Might really start to rock it. I still like NQ pulling these really wicky, difficult to work with back and forth moves. And again, that's just like reading price action and market structure. I was reading this as either continuing right here or, like I said, pulling what we're seeing right now one more time back up here, maybe a wick above, and then a nice aggressive continuation right down here towards these 70s. So I'm going to leave this one on. My risk here is that we don't do that and we just jump right here and come right through my stop. If that's the case, that's the case. I may close on the way up here if we really start to bounce, just save myself a little bit more room in this account. But I want to see if we can get one last rejection, maybe above these 90s, 95s, to kind of come back down through VWAP. Otherwise, it's looking pretty strong. Let's see what we get here today, chat. We are getting to that time frame that Wolf was saying to be cautious about. Yeah, it's going to be some learning, right? Because I haven't been sitting here trading London every day for the last, many months the way that I have with NYSE session. Ooh, we're getting some volatility right here. Getting a little bit of movement. This could get ugly, guys, or it could get pretty. Let's see. Got a little bit of a quick printing candle there. But as always, man, appreciate you guys hopping on. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming to hang out. Wouldn't be much of a community without you guys. Yeah, man. Let's see. Last ditch to get a little reversal after sweeping this high, but this is not playing nice with me. Not playing nice with me. Do we just blast off here? Looks like we might. Looks like we might. I'm gonna allow this thing a little bit of space. Wanted to allow it off these 95s. Again, if we don't reverse here, obviously I think I'm taking my stop. Let's see. Yeah, just too much momentum to the upside. Buyer stepping in here, bringing this thing back higher. Trading out the 900s here. Can we get a reaction? Can we get a reaction? I'm going to trust my stop on this one. I'll let it run all the way against me at this point, so I'm not saving too much on the way back down. So let's see if we can get a little bit of reaction. We are coming into that 4 a.m. time frame that that could get some dicey movement according to you guys that are on here trading it. But I'm allowing the test of this bad boy now. We're all the way up here, so let's see if we can't get the sweep of the high and the chop right back down through VWAP. Or if we are just going to push on this bad boy. This is looking, yeah, this is looking pretty strong, but I'd still want to be short up here, which is why I'm still short up here. CVD didn't jump too much. Interesting to watch Bookmap on this one as well. Yeah, no super strong reaction. It looked like we might start to get something, but we got some at the 905s that might want to pop right through. Yeah, I'm just gonna hang on to this one. Again, getting warmed up here on NQ for London. I'm allowing this thing to sweep the high. Stop is way out there, but I've held on to it for this point. So I'm gonna see if we can't get a little bit of rejection here. We got liquidity right down below. There was some volume that came in on that. See if we don't pop some stops and then kind of come back down through VWAP. Got an option to clip it for for saving $100 here, but this is going to be red account number one if we go up and tag that. And then I'll be swapping on to the next. See if we can't get some movement on the next ones. I think I started these pretty dang wide. For some follow-up trades, I'm definitely going to get tighter and probably a little bit heavier on position size. See if we can't get some quick scalping movements out of these. Loving that 900 level hanging out right there. Eddie says may turn at 22,903 and a quarter. Yeah, that was what we traded to. So we traded to 22,903 and a half. Yep. Yeah, we do have some liquidity at 905 here on Bookmap for NQ, so that could get dicey. Another little sweep of that high if we continue to push. Checking something with stream here. Try not to get too distracted, but let's try not to get too distracted. Nope, not going to play nice with me. Wolf says, did the volatility kick in 10 minutes early? Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like it. Looks like it. What's up, man? Welcome back. You've been hopping on some of these streams. I don't really know exactly how to pronounce your name, so I'm gonna call you H. This is some discretionary price action market structure scalping. That's what I would classify this as very discretionary price action market structure based scalping, right? Looking for small movements. This is pretty wide for me. What I started at here, what my real game plan is to get much more zoomed in on these bad boys. But there's not going to be some EMA crossover or specific type of entry model that I'm using for this. Yeah, so it didn't get the motion that I wanted out of this. Now, well, this may start to turn back down to the downside. Yeah, not just yet. We're still chopping around up here. Let's see if we can get some selling pressure. I'm considering clipping this one just because I'm stuck in it, kind of sitting around the highs up here. Wow, we could really aggressively sell off, which I think we're more likely to just wick up here one more time and take me out before we do that, which is why I'm considering clipping it. Just looking to see if we can get one more dip out of this bad boy. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and clip this one. Maybe we start to sell just a little bit. A little bit better of a price. Let's see if we can get just a little bit of selling pressure if we don't pop right back up on this bad boy. Yeah, the 05s have liquidity.
Order
I'm
filled.
gonna get rid of this one, guys. I'm gonna get rid of this one. Give myself a little bit more room to work here. We have liquidity up here at the 905s. Stop loss right above the high. That one obviously didn't play nice with me. We'll see if we just sell off from up here, but I'm not going to hold on to that one all the way to the full stop and take another $200 of loss. I'll accept that one and then kind of move on to the next, which is going to be my game plan. Give myself a fresh chart in front of me without a trade running in loss. So one win, one loss. Back to $200. Back down $200. Again, 3 accounts, around that $500 risk per trade on the high end that I'm working with. So I don't mind that. But here's going to be my game plan. Ooh, we'll see how this close looks. Game plan for follow-up trades now is going to be a little bit more zoomed in. Even more aggressive, looking for really kind of quick movements. Got to be a little bit careful doing this with top one because you can't have stuff play out in under 10 seconds. You have that minimum 10-second trade time rule. So that is going to come into play. But I'm going to look for much quicker price action scalping style stuff. So for right now, I want to see what happens up here. We pushed all the way back through VWAP. We swept this high. Do we just come down on it really aggressively? Do we continue the upside? Stop right above this 905 where we got a little bit of liquidity on NQ. Didn't feel too great. So I'm going to let this start to move around a little bit, get a little bit more direction out of it, and see. Yeah, I still don't mind it short. Reason for the close really for me is having a stop like right up here. I just think one little tiny wick comes and just takes me out for the full 500 rather than 300 or less before we get some potential continuation. But again, discretionary with price action, market structure, with trade management. That's going to be the play. Good morning. Good morning. What's up? What's going on, guys? Appreciate you guys hopping on. Go ahead and throw this. Coming into 4 a.m. right now. Wolf, let's see what we get. Brother Wolf said quite a bit of volatility coming in for these full hours here. Here we go. Let's see. 4 a.m. Eastern right now. Hour into to London. Yeah, there we go. Damn. Here comes the downside pressure. Yep, holding that one a little bit longer would have paid. Dang, there it is. So discretionary close for a partial L. Stop loss just above this high after it drifted all the way up on me. Looking for a sell off from way down here for an entry, but this looks like we're going to come back down through. Again, I want to get myself out of those because they're a little bit wider than I'd like, and get myself into something a little bit tighter. Probably risking a little bit less per trade, but maybe a little bit heavier on the entry, and just go for some much quicker movement. Scalping for closer to that like 30-40 tick mark. I think that's going to be decent on this price action. So let's see what we get all the way back down towards VWAP here. Let's see if we come back down through like my initial thesis and come down to these 70s. I'm going to give this a second here because we did get some volatility. You're dead set on that one, Wolf. 4 a.m. Yep, which is not uncommon, right? Even for NYSE. Nice round hourly marks. We get some volatility that comes in. Let's see. Let's see. What's up? You guys are chatting it up. NQ doesn't play at all? Nah, for sure. Gold is looking very bearish. Nice. See, Zach, market maker, market makers. Yeah, see, the market makers are watching. Yeah, damn stream snipers. You see, guys, the market makers are watching my stream. They know where my stop is. They know when I'm. Look at this one. They know where my stop is. They know where I'm getting long and short, and they are they're watching this. So I'm actually we pulled down a little bit further. I'm looking long off the 80s, right down into this area here. For a little aggressive pop back up. It would just be a quick slice through VWAP. There's like a little bit of liquidity right down there through the 80s. Depends what happens for a quick pop, but again, these next ones are gonna be a little bit tighter. Definitely gonna choke up a little bit on stop loss and take profit. Look for these little price action scalpy style movements. I know they stalk streams. No one listens to me. You're funny, Wolf. Oh. Wake my ass up here. I got my yerba mate. Early, though. Early. And I'm going to hop back on and stream for New York. If you guys are hanging out here now, I'll be back on for 9:30 a.m. Probably going to have to take a nap. That would have been a nice little VWAP bounce there. But let's see. Let's see what we get. Oh yeah, we got a bunch of people back on again, man. Appreciate you guys. Smash like, smash subscribe. I'm not going to say I'm going to be here every single day for London, but for the next few, I'm definitely going to be here. Definitely going to be here. But I'm every single day for NYSE Open at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. 100% free. I run the 100% free trading Discord. No VIP, no course in there. Not trying to sell you on some magic indicator or some signals. Nothing like that. Just a regular idiot trading live for free and running a free community. Of course, I yap about stuff like Top 1 Futures, Bookmap, stuff that I do stand to make money from. But I'm always transparent about that. I always tell you to do your own research, make your own decision. So immediate pop off of VWAP. That would have been a nice little buy right there. I was looking for the 80s, just a little bit more of a dip down lower. There was a little bit of liquidity here, but right off of VWAP would have paid. Now let's see what happens. Do we blast through this high and really start trending to the upside here? On NQ, I'm interested to see. Or do we get another rejection and we come back down through VWAP? Got decision-making time setting up. So let's see. Let's see. We appreciate you for what you do. It's all about the community. And thanks for RDF. Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you. Good Discord. Love your voice messages. Alec, thank you, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get even better on those Discord messages. But I yap a lot in Discord. A lot of voice messages, but I try to answer everybody, right? Provide any info that I possibly can. Give you whatever 2 cents that I have. It's awesome, man. Awesome community. Almost 2,000 members. How many people we got? It's crazy. A lot of people come in and out. So I'm not going to say that it's 1,960 people in this Discord. It's crazy. Crazy. It's awesome. I'm super grateful. And then just the growth on social media, on IG, on YouTube. It's crazy, man. Appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'm a troll. What do I know, Wolf? What did Wolf say? Probably throw a VWAP from 3 a.m. to not that it changes anything. Just looks good on the chart. Gotcha. Yeah, the anchored VWAPs. Yeah, for what I'm doing here, really, guys, it's really price action focused. Really price action focused, and a little bit of volume and order flow, but really primarily looking at candlestick formations, right? Really looking at at this structure that's forming, very zoomed in on the 1 minute, and looking to scalp that. Just finding clean ways to structure risk and scalp. So yeah, decision making time up here. I'm interested to see. Do we reject again, come right back down through, or do we pop back up to the upside? I'm looking at this for potential move higher. This doesn't look like we want to drift lower just yet, unless we come aggressively through this low. Let's see. I'm waiting and seeing up here. I don't want to try to buy the breakout. This is looking a little bit choppy around VWAP, but that felt like we might come and try this high. And there's still not again, NQ doesn't have a lot of liquidity on it. For this session, there's not a ton. That looked like we were going to try it there for a second. Just right back up to the 900s, immediate reversion back down.
Order
I'll
filled.
try this thing long. I'm going to run it with a pretty tight stop. Don't want to give myself really more than the $500 on this account, and then I'll swap over if I take this next L. But I'm going to try this thing long. I'm looking at this as another pullback down, 10 points off this high, and then potentially another quick pop back up. We got some liquidity right above this that really didn't get filled. And I want to see if we can't come through this high. We come down lower, back down through these lows. I'm just dead wrong on this. So I'm going to see if we can't run this high. Nope, not yet. Not yet. Let's see what we can do. Again, arbitrary stop loss way up there. I'd be looking for a pop above that high to maybe take some profit on this bad boy. Let's see. Let's see what we can do. Oh shit. Hang on, guys. I'm gonna be right back. Yeah, I'm gonna go take profit right here. I gotta be right back. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta step away for a second. This is gonna suck because I gotta trade on. Yeah, we're gonna go a quick 1-to-1 on this one. Be right back, guys. Shit. Whoops. Back in action, guys. What happened? Sorry about that. Team, what are we doing here? Whole lot of nothing. A whole lot of nothing. Let's see. Yeah, this really did not play to the upside at all for me. Back down to VWAP, started to bounce a little bit. Yeah, I don't love this. And again, I'm wide on take profit and stop loss. Wide for what I want to be doing with this nice tight scalping movement. Let's see if we can get some motion off of VWAP, but it's not looking too good. Not looking too hot just yet. Yeah, I'm probably gonna leave this one on, and we're gonna run this high or just chop around. Nah, this. Yeah, I don't like this. We didn't get the continuation. We're back down through VWAP. I'll go
Order
ahead and take
filled.
this one off. Just allow that one to be the smaller loss. Another little $100. 1W, 2Ls. That's where I'm at so far. So I might get a swap up on the account just to kind of not dig too much of a hole in this one. Let's see if we can't do that. While I'm doing that, let me throw this up on the screen real quick. You guys can see the current deal, see where we're at. Boom. There we go. Fresh account loaded up. Like I said, not copy trading all three, but bouncing around between the three. Want to give myself around that $500. I'd prefer not to dig more of a hole if I don't have to. And that's the benefit of kind of just bouncing between 3-pack of them. What's up, Kingpin? What's up? What's up? I have a huge supply above we got to work into. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, a lot of good people trying to help each other. Sharon, Zach's the best. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys. Chris, can you help me with top one? They blacklisted me for nothing. They blacklisted you for nothing. That's a bold claim, my friend. I'm going to go ahead and ask you here since you hopped on and chatted about it. First off, I'm more than happy to hear you out. I'm just a partner and I'm an affiliate. I don't make any of these decisions. I don't see anybody's trading or anything behind the scenes. So I don't have a say in anybody having, being blacklisted or not blacklisted. But I'm happy to hear you out and try to go to bat for you if I think you've been wronged or if you were indeed blacklisted for nothing. But so far to this point, I haven't seen a single person be blacklisted for nothing. So I'll ask you here, right, since you hopped on and said that. Do you have any idea what you might have been blacklisted for? Like any idea at all? Did they provide any reason whatsoever? Did you do anything that could have been even potentially looked at as a reason for banning you? I'm interested to hear that first. Took a short on gold, USD, JPY. Awesome. Nice. Chart is so small. Why the background, bro? Yeah. So this is with StreamYard. I noticed the same thing. I was with OBS for a while, but StreamYard makes it easy to stream to a bunch of different platforms, and they do have this kind of like big background thing, and I just haven't been able to set it up in a different way. So I got my face over on the side, chart, background kind of hanging. I could throw banners up, comments up, like your comment right here. StreamYard is pretty helpful for that, but I haven't been able to set it up exactly how I want just yet. But coming in the future is gonna be cool transitions, nice back and forth, smooth movement, maybe larger chart screen, all that fun stuff. It's not supply man, it's algorithmic. Is what? Oh God, yeah, I'm not even gonna read that. Not even read that, Wolf. Yeah, Wolf's joking, guys. we're not trading. We're not trading that crap. Funny though. Funny though. But yeah, Chris, let me know. I have the. I'll throw the Discord in the chat again. To the person that hopped on and said they were blacklisted. I'll throw the Discord in the chat again. Free to hop in there. You can shoot me a DM. You can hit me up from my website. Hit me up anywhere on socials. More than happy to hear you out. Again, but I've yet to see that. There's been something. It's been something with everybody, unfortunately. But happy to hear you out. But you can go ahead and let me know if you think there's any reason that that might be outside of for nothing. You were just trading normally, and then all of a sudden you weren't able to trade anymore with no reasoning. I have tech issues. They had to activate my account. Then one day they wouldn't. Then passive aggressive scam involving not activating purchased product and sabotage from support. Yeah, definitely reach out to me, man, because that just sounds that's not clear at all. You had tech issues. They had to activate your account, and then they wouldn't, and then you're saying a scam or not activating a purchased product, um, and sabotage. Yeah, I don't know what that means. So yeah, hop in the Discord, man, and then click on my face there and shoot me a DM, and explain in detail. You can also give me your email and your name, and if you have any account numbers from the original emails that you were working with, but you're gonna have to describe it a little bit clearer than that. You don't have to, again, we don't have to make this whole conversation about your specific issues. So shoot me a DM, but describe the tech issues that we're having. Describe like what exactly happened. Um, whatever happened. I'm more than happy to hear you out. Um, but again, I haven't seen a single person that's been had what you had go on, where there's a sabotage from support. Oh, yeah, more than happy to hear you out. Yeah, what Wolf said. Happy to hear you out. So here we go. This continued to sell back off through VWAP. Closed a short early on one small W, two small L's. We'll see if we come through VWAP on this one. This is kind of choppy price action up here. Um, there we go. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. So not a bad close on that one. Not a great close on the second one. But that would have been a larger L than I needed to take had I held on to that. So I still think this thing might want to go run highs. If we sell off really aggressively, we could go all the way down. We could pull all the way back down. There's some liquidity to the downside, like the 37 and a halves, if we really aggressively started to push lower. But I'm interested to see what happens around these 70s. Sorry, I'm just zooming out again. Don't mean to make you guys dizzy here. Just looking at the 15-minute, getting a little bit higher time frame perspective. Kind of what we got going on. Yeah, somewhat choppy overall. If we pulled like way down here, sweep of the overnight lows, way back down to this kind of support level, order block, area of interest on the chart is what I like to call it. I'd be interested to see if we really start to harshly sell off here. Buyer stepping right back in on that one.
Order filled.
Try this long again, guys. I'm gonna try this long, taking off like from here. I like this back up around the highs. Yeah, I'm gonna run this one tight. Run this one tight, like right below this low. Let's see if we can't find some support at VWAP here after sweeping the low. Buyers look like they stepped right back in. Gonna see if we can't pop this to the upside here. If not, we come through this low. I'm looking at this to the downside. I think we will aggressively start selling. But I'm looking at this either to continue chopping or to come and test this high again. Even just pull this like difficult to work with kind of fake out move. So I'm running along on this one. Running along on this bad boy. See if I can't get any any motion here with NQ. Get it to work with me. Chris, they're answering different questions than I was asking for market hours when the market was open. Sabotage. Yeah, man. Again, reach out to me on Discord because some of the stuff that you're saying now doesn't make sense. Tradeify then took down 2 accounts because of Op1 blacklisting. Um, they don't share the same support. Top One does not work with Tradeify at all. I can tell you that with some certainty. So yeah, my brother, reach out to me on Discord. Again, just not really following anything, and I'd prefer not to turn this into a support chat for you specifically, if that's possible. Definitely hit me up on Discord, but it sounds like you have an issue where you've gotten banned from multiple firms, and just hearing from the outside, there's no reasoning that you're providing. There's sabotage, from multiple firms. My gut tells me that that there's something else going on behind the scenes. But if you want to, since you've shared it publicly, if you want to reach out in Discord, I'm more than happy to hear you out, and then I will share what happened publicly. Um, Yeah, I don't know, man. That sounds really odd. You've been banned from every firm. Um, I don't know. I don't know about that. I've never heard of anything like that. I don't know. What did you do before you got banned? Were you trading like wildly profitably or wildly unprofitably? Are you from a specific country? But again, man, just hit me in Discord. This way we don't turn the whole thing into a support stream. But I take those comments seriously, so definitely hit me up. I'm happy to hear you out. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Don't know about that. NQ is just not working with me here. Really not working with me whatsoever. I was looking for some support off of VWAP. Again, taking a higher frequency of trades, but I'd like to get some green rolling here. This is looks like it's going to just be a tough one for me. I'm going to hang on to this. Stop loss is where it needs to go before this low. I'm looking at for some support to be found. Difficult move where we pull back up and kind of come sweep these highs, come back up to the 900s where we got quite a bit of liquidity stacking back up on the book. But we might have to come lower on this. If we do, past this low, maybe we just wick down here and then kind of pop back up to the upside. But I would consider this as some selling pressure coming in if we really do start to continue lower here. This is interesting though. This is interesting. Oh, short it, brother. Harshit says, "Don't long it, bro. It's going to touch lower support. Send it. Someone's gonna make money. You short it, I'll long it, and then someone will make money." But I might fade me too. If I was looking at this session so far, not too hot. One W, two L's. We're gonna see if I'm gonna make it a W and three L's on this one, but I'm looking at some potential support off this VWAP area, or at least this chop continuing. Buyers look like they wanted to step in pretty aggressively on that one. Um, I've gotten some ugly fills here. I'm guessing it's just a little bit wider uh, during the lower volatility session, but that first one was, or second one rather, was really ugly. And I usually don't complain at all about fills, but that was not too hot. But let's see. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. See if we can't get this pop higher. And for harsh it, a pop lower. Someone will make money. There we go. Can we come up through the 90s on this? Are we just going to maintain, right? Here's our trend line that we got to break now. Not that I'm a trend line guy, but take a quick look. If I was, I'm paying attention to this channel that we formed to the downside. We come outside of this. I really like it to the upside. I really like it to the upside, right? Coming off of kind of these lows. You can even put it off of that high. Got a little bit of that channel forming here. I'd love to see that really break right up. Again, just mapping out price action and market structure with you guys here. 900's got quite a bit on the book. We might have to pull one more really aggressive dip down before we take off. But I'm looking at this as the dip down and then buyers stepping in. So I'm going to hang on to this for a minute. See what we could do. See if NQ can work with me, right? I held on to my losers. I want to hold on to my winners. You know, got to be playing cautiously. If you're going to hang on for a little bit larger losses, you got to be cautious of not holding your winners as they start to move in profit. Let's see what we get. Yeah, 896s have quite a bit of liquidity. 900s have quite a bit of liquidity. This could be a decent pop to the upside if we actually get it here. Yeah, I need to see this thing take off. Need to see this thing take off. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Can we do it? Can we do it, NQ? I was going to say ES because I'm always trading ES. Yeah, I need to see this thing go. So this is going to be an instance where I'm comfortable going stop to break even plus a tick or two. I'm going to put it at 10 bucks because I want to see this go right here, right? Buyer stepped in here. I got long. We retested this level again. Buyer stepped back in. We're trading up here to the 95s. We got liquidity overhead. If you're looking at Bookmap or order flow, you'll see it. If we pull back on this thing again, back down through the 87s where my stop is now, I would rather just be out, give myself a fresh start, look for another scalpy style trade. I like this to the upside, but I don't want to allow it to come all the way back down on me, to come through, you know, entry and then back to stop loss. So stop to break even on this one is my play. 2288, excuse me, 22,887. I got to get used to calling out NQ numbers. Yeah, here we go. Not blasting through. I would have loved to see buyers take this thing higher, right? Here's your volume to the upside, but I need to see this thing drive, like really aggressively drive. Otherwise, just come and stop me. That's my play on this. Here, I'm even going to pull something fancy on this one, guys.
Order filled. I'm
going to add in right there. Now I'm in for 2, and I'm going to go stop loss just past break even. See if we can't get a pop up on this bad boy. There we go. There we go. Let's see. I'm going to hang on to this. So that was an add in. When stop loss is at break even and price is close to my entry, but I still think it's going to move in my direction. I can add in and really make that more worthwhile. I'm still holding on to this. Still might come down and stop me. There we go. Let's see. Can we come through this level right here? Coming into some sell side orders right here. Nice, nice. Coming into some orders right here.
Order filled.
I'm going to limit out of one right there. Just grab a little bit of profit. And then again, continue to drag stop loss up. I still think this thing can go. But we have some at... we got some sellers right there. We got some at the 22,900s. Are we going to continue on this?
Order
I'm gonna grab
filled.
this one for now, guys. I'll take myself out. 22 900s, we got some orders to the upside, so I'm a little bit cautious. Now, we might just blast off, like pop right off here, but I'm just going to grab 270 bucks in profit on that. Nearing halfway to a daily profit target in this account. Just kind of move on. Look for the next trade, look for another scalpy one. But not bad. Ended up working. What was really nice on that, which is a move that I'm going to try to pull more and more often here, scalping, is if we start to move in profit and I get especially when I get my stop loss to break even, because then I can really control risk. I love an add-in. I love throwing on another mini and then dragging stop loss into profit. And then as you saw what happened there, as we just start to pop a little bit higher, I'm now in with double the size. I can realize double the profit or get stopped out. It doesn't always work out perfectly like that, or not that worked out perfectly, but it doesn't always work out in a way where I can structure risk, right? So if you just start doubling up size and leave your stop loss where it is, you're just doubling risk. And there might be a situation where I start with maybe like 200 and some odd dollars worth of risk on that one. I think that was like 220 or 225, something like that. And I add in, and maybe I increase that to 500 because it makes sense. I prefer to not do that. And I prefer to be able to drag up with it, right? And just really add in heavy, and it's either going to pop right there and generate a nice win or take me out for a break even. So two W's, two L's. That's where I'm at so far. Still sitting slightly negative compared to the other account being a little over 300 in red, but made a little bit of progress in this one. Probably going to swap over to the third fresh one. See what we can do in the third one. But let's go through, read the chat a little bit. I'm up 625 in Top Step, 100K tonight. Nice. 525 today. Made money last 5 days. Very nice, Chris. Killing it. Zach, I have an idea for a fun stream, like how Top Step used to do it. Invite a couple people on stream, top on Friday, and then practice account, take positions, click reverse for 5 minutes. Yeah. So you guys may or may not know this, but I was on Top Step TV quite a bit. And you may not know that I am the Reversal Challenge undefeated champion. I was on Top Step TV for 3 Fridays, and I won the Reversal Challenge for all 3 Fridays. Now, that doesn't really tell you much because the Reversal Challenge is a silly practice game where people are just hitting the reverse button. But I think I won so many times, they had to kick me off. No. But that's true. It's a true story. I'm the Reversal Challenge champ, Wolf. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of that. It was actually funny because everybody on there would be like hanging out and like talking and having fun. And I get competitive, and especially if I'm like really focused on like scalping like that, and I'd be quiet and like they'd swap back over, and all of a sudden I was like in profit after being in a whole bunch of loss. I'm like sweating at my computer desk, taking the Reversal Challenge all seriously. But yeah, it's a fun idea. It's a fun idea. I have to do something fun like that. 8 hours long from Hive Day. This thing started chopping an hour or so ago, so I'm content with what I got. Yeah. Zach, I hold on to losers more than winners. Please do voice message. Alec, I will do a voice message for you, but I'll do one right here. One of the most difficult pieces of trading to recognize is that, especially when you start trading, is that we seem to do, we feel like the market does the exact opposite of what we do, right? As soon as we hit buy, the market goes against us. As soon as we hit sell, the market goes against us, right? And then you trade for a while and you realize, well, I'm holding on to all of my winners just for a couple ticks in profit, and as soon as it shows me some green, I just close out. And I'm holding my losers all the way to my stop loss, or even worse, I'm adding in and I'm moving my stop loss away. And we do that for a couple reasons, right? We're fearful when we should be hopeful. We're hopeful when we should be fearful. There's a risk avoidance, a sunk cost mindset. All of these things play in. But we're really doing the exact opposite of what we need to do in the market. And I catch myself doing that. From time to time. If you I think of a lot of traders, especially beginners that just don't have a great read of the market, and if they just messed with trade management, they would create some edge. But if they just flip that on their head and they clipped losses early, halfway to a stop, or they choked up on their stop loss, and they held on to their winners the way they held on to their losers, they would make money. They would make money in the long run. So that's the theory, right? What's the practical thing that you might be able to do? I would pull a set it and forget it type of a trade management style. If you really struggle to hold on to your winners, I would set a take profit, set a stop loss, and then walk away. I would close out the screen. I would just leave it as it is. You take on a little bit of risk doing that because you could have slippage or something weird could happen. But I would just set a take profit and then set a stop loss and let it run. Just let it run. Because if you find that you can't manage it yourself, you're constantly closing out winners early and holding all the way to a stop loss, you're better just taking yourself out of the equation for a while. And then I think what will happen, and I've done that myself in the past, what will happen is you start to watch your winners play out. You go, oh my gosh, look, if I just hold, they all go and hit take profit. And then you add yourself back into the equation slowly. That's not a fix, but the first part is really understanding that what you're doing is the exact opposite of what you need to do, like by definition. And it's from a number of reasons that you have to try to dig deep and journal and ask yourself why. But the quick fix, initially is to take yourself out of the equation, to just set your take profit, set your stop loss, and then literally walk away. Because if you sit there and watch it, you're likely to just close it early. Let that thing run. But it really comes down to flipping that on its head. Like you just saw me do, add in when you're in profit, right? Maybe. When the trade is still working out, hold that trade, as it's still making sense, right? Until it doesn't. And be able to clip your losses, right? You watched me clip 2 losses early, right? Technically didn't take a stop out on either one of those. Did I take a stop out on the second one? No, clipped both of them early, right? And if you're going to clip your winners, you got to clip your losses, right? But it's almost what I realized here. I'll tell you this. What I realized is for a long period of time, which is one of the most frustrating things. It's a good conversation. Is if I had just done, and this is obvious, right? But if I had just done the exact opposite of what I was doing when it came to trade management for almost a year of data back when I was really starting to focus on Forex, I would have made money. Not different entries, not different, not different models or, risk management when it comes to structuring it, but trade management. If I had clipped my losses the way I clipped my winners, and I held my winners all the way to take profit the way I was holding all the way to a stop loss every single time, I would have made money. I would have made good money. And again, I think that's the reason that so many traders have an equity curve that just slopes straight down, right? We're just doing the exact opposite of what we should be doing. And if we flip that on its head, the equity curve would slope straight up. It's not as simple as that, but it's something to reflect on and think about. But the easy fix, because I always like to talk about it, and then like everyone goes, okay, well, that's a great theory. How the hell do I actually do that? Like, what's the thing that I should do? In my opinion, and for me, if I'm not able to manage trades, I'm going to take myself out of the equation. Stop loss where it goes, take profit where it goes. That's it. Let it run. And then again, hopefully it plays out over enough time and you realize you have that, good habits start to be built that you watch it over and over and over. If you just let the market do what it's going to do, it's going to hit your take profit enough times to help you out. So that's the thought process there, Alec. Everyone has the same issue. We need to work on it ourselves. Reaffirmation, sticking to our rules, journaling, things like that. Slow baby steps. Yeah. Let's go, Eddie. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I took the W on that one. Yeah. A great book for that is Best Loser Wins by Tom Hogard. Obviously, right? You could read Trading the Zone, which is a really, really good one, but that's more about random distribution and, wins and losses and understanding that part of the market. Best Loser Wins is great for talking about trade management. And Hogard, like a huge part of the book is flipping that completely on its head, holding on to winners when it's painful, adding in, doing the opposite of what everybody else does, right? And aggressively, clipping losses, right? Taking, break evens and that type of stuff. It's a great book if you want to read that one. Helpful. Discord, you guys talking? Yeah, maybe we'll have to watch that one. Yeah, watching this chop up here. I knew seen you somewhere as Top Step. Yeah, I've been on Top Step quite a bit in the past. Not so much anymore, but I've traded on Top Step TV. Um, Started as power player, right? Got called in to do that, and then I was on Power Hour. That was my regular segment, but I did a few fast markets. I was on for Halloween fast markets last year. That was pretty fun. Um, but yeah, it's cool. It was fun to do for sure. And then reversal challenge. I did 3 reversal challenges, which was cool. But yeah, I can get away with strong end of move completions if volume permits. After hours is good for unfinished moves. I can't do it on low volume. Okay. Starting to use a practice account. That will help with that exactly what you're talking about. I will trade practice account till my confidence is where it needs to be. Sure. Hit the likes, guys. Use Dom. Try to let it do its thing, but your gut too. Sure. Fast money formula. Thanks for the reminder. Hit the like. Trailing profit helps with withholding winners. Sure. Master reversal challenger. Yeah. And I was always joking when I was on there. I was like, if I could trade this well when actually money was on the line and I'm not in a practice account hitting a reverse button, I would be super stoked. But yeah, I cleaned up on the reversal challenge a couple times. It was fun. Really fun. And again, that doesn't mean anything. It's not like I'm not bragging about that. It doesn't it's a reversal challenge. It doesn't mean anything. It's like a stupid game, but it's like the last hour of Friday. So, I think that stemmed from like they have guests on, right? And who the hell really wants to be trading in an XFA or a live account or something, in the last 10 minutes of NYSE session on Friday? Like maybe some people, but it was a fun thing to do on Friday. People shit on that all the time, but I thought it was a fun game. Not really, just entertainment, not really doing anything, obviously. But yeah, it was fun. That was fun. But yeah, guys, that's a trade management. One of the toughest pieces of trading, and we get into the more advanced stuff, right? Kind of like what we're talking about, with some of the stuff that we're trying to pull today. But the basics are we are hardwired to think incorrectly in the markets. And it's the reason that almost everybody loses money. And if you really just start to think in terms of most traders lose money. So if I do the opposite of what most traders do, I might stand a chance at making money, right? And you know that you're probably like most traders when you start out, and it can feel good to hold on to a losing trade. Why? You're hopeful. You're hopeful that it comes back. You're hopeful that your stop doesn't get hit, right? When really you should be fearful. You should be saying the trade is not working out. The trade is moving against me. It's probably going to hit my stop loss, and I'm probably going to realize the full amount. And maybe I want to clip that early. Maybe you don't. Maybe you want to trust your stop and hold to it the way that I usually do. But then when it comes to profit, what happens when we start to see money on the screen? We get fearful. We're fearful that that profit's going to go away. We want to take it. We want to lock it up, right? We are fearful that it's going to come all the way back down and take us out for a loss, and we're going to have a losing trade. We want to be right. We want to feel good, right? And it feels good to hit that button. It's the wrong thing to do. We should be hopeful when we're in profit. We are getting confirmation from the market, from our trade idea, that whatever we just did was right. The market's continuing to move in our direction. It's working out. We should be confident in that trade continuing in our direction. We now have profit on the line, yes. So you don't always want to let them run and then run against you, but you want to be able to hold on to your winners at least as well as you hold on to your losers, right? At very least, but really should be better. You should want to hold on to those winners longer. So again, there's different trade management styles. There's not one size fits all. Fixed take profit, fixed stop loss, trailing, adding in multiple take profit levels, a million different ways to do this. But one thing is true for almost everybody when they start, after they, go through the basics. They can hold on to their losers like a champ. They can set that stop loss, and when it moves against them, they say, oh, maybe it's going to come back. Maybe they even add. Maybe they even move the stop loss away. And when it comes time to hold on to the winner, most traders, not everybody, but most traders struggle. There is the opposite end of that spectrum, which are the greedy traders, and they struggle from a different I'm not in this boat, but they struggle from a different uh, pain point and emotion, which is greed and never wanting to realize profit and holding on to things until they come all the way back all of the time. And I've seen guys like that. I actually think it's a better, uh, a better starting point, but it's equally damaging and difficult. But if you have that type of mindset, I think honestly it's less common. But I think you're better suited to adjust. But there's traders like that, and I was envious when I first met a couple where I'm like, I would see the trades, I would see the trade report, and they would hold to the moon. They would like never close, or they would even add in and then not close. And of course, they would let it come all the way back to stop loss and blow the account and all that type of stuff. But I'm like, man, you have such a power play here. But it's a balance, right? You can't be to the extreme where you just never close trades, right? So you have to be a little more risk averse. You have to reel yourself back into reality. So what's up, my bro? Yeah, I mean, I know I've been yapping, but I'm just watching this thing chop, guys. Like this is not a lot. Trading this range is pretty much all that I could see us doing here, which I'm going to look to do, but I don't have a lot of confidence taking another buy off of VWAP here, so I want to see if we start to break down, but I'm looking at this as kind of just a rangy, choppy session so far. Here's 3 a.m., right? Here's the high end of this. Oh, here's the high end of this. Here's the low end of this. So this is kind of choppy, right? Not really directional, chopping like right above VWAP. I've taken a couple buys down here, so I'm just gonna wait a little bit, see what else we get. Look for another one, but I'm not super excited by this just choppiness. But that's kind of normal for this session, right? Rangy, got to get comfortable with that. So I want to see if we come down below these lows. I was looking at the 70s earlier. I still think we could dip down there. But I was having a little bit of a yap fest. What's up, my bro? Been through hell lately. Lost 3 fundeds. No one reason trading more than 1 mini. Sorry to hear that, brother. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, just take it easy. Bring yourself back down to reality. That's my 2 cents. Maybe take a break. Maybe give yourself some time, just to chill out. But it's time usually to take your foot off the gas when that happens. That's me. I think when we were talking about holding trades for forever. Yeah, if that's you, you got to bring yourself. You got to set a take profit. that's going to help first, or start trailing and trail yourself out. I wanted to implement hope and profit thing a few times. Got clobbered every single time. No exception. Maybe wrong timing. Don't know. Didn't work for me. I'll still try though. Well, again, it depends, Wolf. Right? Like, it depends on what your starting point is. And I'm speaking from a place of my own personal experience, but everybody's got something different. Like I was talking about, you could be way too hopeful and way too greedy in winning trades. There's a spectrum, right? There's a balance, and you got to find yourself, find where you're at, right? What your starting point is. Even more so, like if we back it off a little bit, imagine $100 to $200 a day for life. I want to get there someday. Yeah. It's not too difficult to make it work. It doesn't always work that way, where it's $100 or $200 every single day. It's very non-linear, right? Very random distribution of what that sequence looks like, but you can average that. That's definitely attainable, right? $100 a day, and I think if more people shot for those goals, they'd be able to hit them rather than, I want to take a $25,000 payout. Like, all right, man, why don't we work on $100, on average per day, try to make $500 a week between some wins and losses. Where was I going with that other thought? Yeah. For the risk thing, I think everybody ends up or starts on one end of that, like, spectrum, right? If there was very risk averse to, high risk tolerance, like very risk on type of a trader, you're probably going to be somewhere in between, right? Somebody who trades very aggressively on this side, doesn't really have a problem holding trades, can run accounts up really quickly, but always ends up ruining it somehow. Ends up holding all the way back down, ends up having a bad day. They get overconfident really quickly, right? And then the other side is really risk averse, right? These are usually the good risk managers, but kind of the slow death by a thousand chops, right? They're not really able to hold on to winners well. They get good entries. They structure risk well, but they mismanage trades, consistently closing out trades for break even or for, small loss or small wins, and never really allowing their stuff to work out. I'm not saying everybody's at these extremes, but you're usually somewhere in between there, right? And if you can start to identify yourself where you are on that, you can bring yourself back to the middle, because the middle ground is this really well-rounded risk manager who can kind of do it all, who can hold on to winning trades without being reckless, right? Who can have confidence without being overconfident, where they run accounts up thousands of dollars and then always end up running it back into the ground because they never stop trading on that red day. Or on this side, where they can allow trades to actually breathe. They can allow them to work out for a split second. They can realize some losses, right? So, you could just look at your trading and try to, that helped me. Look at your trading and try to see where you're at on that spectrum, and then kind of try to bring yourself back down to the middle ground. For me, I'm on the more risk averse side. I came to trading just a little bit, not later in life, right? I'm a young guy, or I consider myself that, but I had capital, right? I had money. I understand the value of money. I wasn't the run accounts up and then blow them, like crazy type of guy. I was more risk averse, which hurt me. I was more cautious about utilizing capital to take on risks, right? And to allow trades to run, to, utilize the capital that you have, which can be equally damaging. So, recognize that. Do you struggle to hold on to winning trades? Do you struggle to keep trading after taking a win, right? A lot of guys are cautious of doing that. Do you always just blast it like crazy, run it up and then back down into the ground? Are you not closing trades when you should? Are you recklessly overconfident? And then try to bring yourself back into the middle ground. That's the thought process. And I see a lot of traders on both ends of that spectrum. I would say I meet a lot of I've met a lot more of just really recklessly aggressive traders lately, guys that even from an early stage can run accounts up. And I think honestly, if you start from that side, maybe it's just the grass is always greener, but I think if you start from that side, you're better suited, unless you're just way too far out there. If you're just blowing through capital, that can also not be helpful at all. But it can be challenging to really to put risk on, to continue to put risk on if you are pretty risk averse. Just checking a couple messages as we're chopping here, guys. This has been a good one, man. Fun stream. Handful of trades in. Not a bad first London stream back. Not bad. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. If I could admit defeat 1 out of 5 days, I could support myself. Brother, that's the that's the that's the key. That's the key. Most just blowing up on one day, right? Having that one bad day, and I've been there for sure, for sure. Ash, I think that's Ash. Yeah. Screening London session on an FOMC makes no sense. Okay, save your mental capital every minute in front of the chart. You don't need to consume. Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that second part. I think spending time on the charts when you don't need to um, can be taken away from mental capital for sure, which is a challenge with streaming live. Especially hanging out here with you guys now for 2 sessions. I want to see how my mental capital holds up for NYSE. And we do have, what do we have, meeting minutes at 2 p.m.? FOMC meeting minutes. I'm going to throw this on the screen, see what this gentleman's talking about. Yeah, we got FOMC meeting minutes later into the afternoon. But I don't know if trading London on an FOMC day makes no sense. Maybe for you, for your strategy, for your approach, but different strokes for different folks. But I appreciate the 2 cents, my brother. But yeah, it'll be interesting. A lot of anticipation likely for today, right? Choppy session probably for NYSE until we get through that 2 p.m. We start to get some information here, right? Detailed report of FOMC's most recent meeting. So could definitely see that. Let's see. Let's see what we get. I get angry when I'm over leveraged or going wrong way. If I can identify this, it can be mended. Slow it down, brother. Set some limits for yourself. Definitely. 1 second, guys. I think it can be helpful to set some limits for yourself for trading, right? If you find yourself over leveraged and you know that's a factor that's going to really negatively affect it, might spiral into a really big tilt day. As soon as you find yourself over leveraged, you can try to take yourself out. Immediately slam the laptop, close out your computer, and just run away really from the screen, But that's kind of like that. What's the book? Jared Tendler, The Mental Game of Trading, talks about having. Hold on 1 second. What is it? Mental Game of Trading, Jared Tendler. What is the triggers? It talks about having triggers, right? If you can start to identify triggers for tilt, right? Maybe you have a big tilt day. You take a break, you're all pissed off, you come back and you go, okay, how did this start? Right? How did I get to where I blew all my funded accounts, right? What was the start of this? And maybe for you it's finding yourself too far leveraged, right? And you take one outsized loss. And you notice that when that happens, you spiral. You go on tilt, you have a crazy tilt day. As soon as it happens the first time, you can make a note, you can make a rule for yourself, something, note in front of you. You have to have some discipline to actually do this, but you stop. You stop trading because you can't handle it. You're already tilted, your emotions are high. It's not going to go well for you the rest of the day, or you stand an increased risk of having a really bad day. And to be a good risk manager, you got to note that increased risk and take yourself out. Maybe it's giving back profit after a win, right? Maybe, could be a number of things. Maybe it's making a fat finger mistake, and you know that as soon as you make one little mistake, you get pissed off. You want to get that money back right away. You take a dumb follow-up trade. You do a number of things that you shouldn't do. So I think I think that could be helpful to think about that way, Chris, for sure. Yeah, man, just kind of tighter and tighter chop here. I'm looking for additional trades, but this is kind of what I'm looking at here, guys. Again, I'm not a trend line trader. I'm just using these to kind of draw out what I'm looking at on the chart. We're kind of contracting here, just chopping right above VWAP. So buy off of VWAP again would have paid, given a couple. Oh, hang on one second. Given a couple points, maybe a 10-point move out of that. Well, this is kind of just tightly chopping here in this little rangy session. Um, I'm looking for a follow up, but I don't know if I'm gonna keep trying to trade this. You can take little price action scalps like I was talking about, a little bit more aggressive, but not too much. Not too much helping on Bookmap either. It's pretty even spread above and below price, and really not reacting too much. At least the way I'm reading this. If we get another dip down, maybe a wick lower, and then a little bit of a pullback up, I'd actually look at this long. That's kind of what I'm looking at here. Like if we cleaned out the 80s, I could see that. Let's see. Let's see what we get. Eddie, man, this is going to explode. Ooh, Eddie's looking long. Eddie's looking long on this bad boy. Started off the night with a fat finger mistake. Went from up 175 to even in one foul swoop. But I'm comfortable playing D coming from behind. Gotcha. Yeah, I got to be cautious of that, man. Got to be cautious of that. There's nothing wrong with a mistake, but if you know that you typically spiral, you really got to be cautious of that. For sure. For sure. Are you doing NY Session Open Live? I am. I am trading NYSE Session Open Live. We're trading 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Guys, if you're new here, yeah, because I don't know how much longer I'm gonna hang on this. This is just even slower and slower movie, tightly choppy, back and forth kind of stuff. But you can subscribe, you can follow, you can like, you can do whatever you do on whatever platform you're on. You could not do anything at all. But I'm live every day from 9:30 a.m. Eastern, and I'm mixing in some London sessions. So the rest of this week, we got 2:45 a.m. Eastern. I'm going to see if I can make that 2:45 a.m. call. I was a little bit late this morning. It was more like 3 a.m. for London Open. But I stream live almost every damn day, 100% free. I also run a 100% free trading Discord. Link is in the chat. More than happy to have you guys in there. I will throw the Discord link in the chat again. Boom. This way you guys can stay up on it. I post the links in there as well. Keep you updated on the schedule, let you know what's going on. I answer questions. We talk about trading, all this fun stuff. But yeah, had a lot of fun on the last London Live. Had fun on this one too, man. Took a handful of trades. Not a whole lot of progress. A little bit of green in one, a little bit of red in another. Again, just not too much out of this market. I'm still considering a long if we get a little bit of a dip down lower. But this is just kind of choppy. Kind of choppy. But yeah, happy to have you guys on with me. And like we were talking about earlier, I'll throw this link in the chat again. Code RDF is 55% off right now at Top 1 Futures. Boom. I'm going to throw this link up for you guys so you can check this out. 55% off the Elite Challenge accounts and the Sim Funded Pro accounts. Remember, I'm partnered, I'm affiliated, I stand to make money. I can't be unbiased if I stand to make money. But if you want to support me, support the channel, support yourself, the code RDF is better than what's on the site, better than what's in the email, better than any other promotion by a few percent, which is pretty sweet. And the account that I'm trading right here, this is the regular instant funded. This is the easier account, right? No intraday trailing drawdown, no ESS score, just a regular consistency score, no time limits, none of that stuff. Those are 35% off, 35% off. So if you want to check either of those out, link is in the chat. And while we're here, hang on, one more thing. Talk about the stream real quick. Not only am I streaming live every damn day, or almost every dang day, we give away 50K accounts on this stream. Not just challenge accounts, not just the cheap stuff, the straight to funded pro accounts. 9:30 a.m. Eastern, and now some 2:45 a.m. Eastern for London Opens. Random days, random times, form drops, no purchase necessary. Gave one out yesterday. Had some fun doing it. So more than happy to give back to you guys, but there's no better shot, in my humble opinion, my humble biased opinion, to win an instant funded account than on my stream. Because as you could see, I don't have that many people on, right? And when I do drop a form, we got pretty good chance to win. So Chris says, I like this technical bear trap, so 1 micro in. Nice. Is that volume profile indicating the right? Yes. So this is visible range volume profile, VPVR, or volume profile visible range. That's what we're looking at right here. Volume profile, visible range, or visible range volume profile, however they list it. And essentially what it does is exactly what the name is. It gives you a volume profile for the visible range that you're displaying, right? Horizontally plotted volume profile. So if I zoom in a little bit more, right, and I just display this volume down here, we could say, hey, we've been consolidating here right at the 22,892s. We got a temporary volume point of control. Obviously price has been hanging out there for quite a while. Maybe we return to that area. We got a nice thick stack of volume here just from this chop that we've been dealing with. Maybe we're likely to return up here to the 22,900s, right? Nice round psychological number that we had quite a bit of volume traded at multiple times. But just a volume profile on the right-hand side. And I saw someone said, do you use Footprint at all? I don't. I use a DOM. I read order flow through Bookmap to the best of my dumb abilities because I don't really like to consider myself like reading order flow in the sense of like the market narrative behind it, because I just use it for pattern recognition. Just the same way that I use a candlestick chart, just really simple pattern recognition stuff. Like an idiot. It's the way that I like to use my tools. But I don't use Footprint. I played around with it in the past. I never got set up with Sierra Charts, which is kind of like the premier footprint charting platform. But it can be helpful for sure. Just not something that I have a lot of experience in. Not something that I found I really wanted to dive into. I was kind of between footprint charts and just Bookmap order flow, and I decided on order flow. Obviously, I'm glad that I did. But there's just so much stuff you can learn, right? So much time you have to spend. And I think whatever tool you're going to use, you got to spend a lot of time on it. And I've done that now with Bookmap. Not enough, really, right? Not somebody that's been on it for 10 years. They'd be a lot better than me, or 20 years. Bookmap's been around forever. But, I think if you're going to add something in like footprint charts, you probably got to watch that for a while, right? Months at a time. Before you really get comfortable, you really get a lot of confidence, you get good at reading it, right? Ooh, look at that. We got some volatility to the upside there. Who said this was going to explode? Eddie. Eddie said, man, this is going to explode. Nice call, Eddie. Nice call. Started to say I was looking long, maybe on a wick down, on a clean out, but that would have paid to the upside. Very nice. Now, do we just wick this high and come right back down in? Because from up here, I like it short. From up here, I like it short right back down to this middle ground. Um, I'm interested to see if we continue because we do have liquidity up to the 930s, all the way up there past overnight high. But that was a nice pop. So I don't know if I want to finally fade the breakout of this consolidation. Um, yeah, definitely not yet. There's some volatility coming in. 515. Yeah, I'm gonna hang out here for a minute, guys. We got some movement. We got some movement here.
Order
I'm gonna
filled.
fade this, guys. I'm gonna fade this pop up. This would put me back to break even if it did indeed just pop. But I'm gonna fade this break up. Um, I'm looking at CVD drop right off on this. I don't know that we just go break and run. I'm happy to just bring this account right back down to break even in the pursuit of a little bit larger profit. So I'm gonna take one more scalpy move on this one, fading this, not waiting for a sweep of this overnight high. I think this is either gonna be a quick stop. Yeah, it's gonna be a quick stop or a quick take profit. Yeah, we popped right back up on buying volume here. But again, small scalpy trades. Yeah, not today. Not today. Aggressive pop to the upside. We really started to pause there for
Order
a second.
filled.
Saw some selling volume come in, but that's a very quick stop on that one. Man, I still like this short. I don't think we run. I'm gonna look at this off the 30s, guys, one more time. Here's our sweep of this overnight high level, this area up here. We got a nice stack of orders at the 30s. If we go and grab these, I might try to fade this one more time. Here we go. Let's see. Can we fill these 43 at the 30s? Heavy buying volume there, but there we go.
Order filled.
I'm gonna try to fade this one more time, guys. Call me crazy. I'm gonna go with the 45s for a stop on this one. This would bring me back into a little bit of drawdown, but I'm gonna take this one. We had liquidity all the way up there to the 30s, buying volume right into it. That filled, seller stepping in, CVD dropping right back off. Nice. I'm gonna go stop loss to break even on this because again, I want to see this continue right to the downside again, and see if we can't pick up some profit on the way back down to these highs. Nice. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. 910s we got a little bit up here. So I got stopped at 908.75. I think we could see a crack through the 910s. It would be above these highs down here that we cracked above pretty aggressively. Just tapping into like a little bit of volume down here. There's some liquidity on the book right there that I think we could go and grab. If we come back up through these highs, I don't want to be short, right? That was a solid entry off the 30s, obviously after taking a stop loss. But we'll see if we can't turn this into something nice. Nope, not yet. Not just yet. Nope, buyer stepping right back in on this one.
Order
I'm
filled.
going to pull the same thing I pulled on the last one, guys. I'm going to scale in. We come back through this, I'm out. But I'm going to scale into that. Yeah, and then I can run my take profit right around the 910s. But this might take me out right here. Let's see. Let's see what we get. In for 2. Buying pressure right near my stop. That's break even plus a couple ticks.
Order filled.
Yeah, I'm out for that one, guys. I'm going to call that one a session. We'll see if we get an aggressive sell-off and how that add-in helped or hurt me, right? Because I have my stop pretty close up here. But not a bad reaction off that. But yeah, this is still looking pretty strong. So gave back a little bit of profit on that one, obviously. Stop and then stop for break even. But on that note, guys, I'm going to call it, chill out for a little bit, and then I'm going to see you guys at 9:30 a.m. back for NYSE session. Appreciate you guys hopping on. As always, thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. This was another fun London session. We got a bunch of people on the stream again. If you want more of these, smash like, smash subscribe. Feel free to hop in the free Discord. We'd be more than happy to have you there. Links in the chat. Remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing you see or hear from me is financial advice. Do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like code RDF, Top 1 Futures, Bookmap, and others. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. Do your own research, guys. Talk to you soon. Thanks for being here. Talk to you guys soon.